everyone. This is April Garrett, the publisher of Seniors Blue Book, and today on Senior Care Spotlight, we welcome Aimee Castor with Grane Hospice Care. How are you doing today, Aimee?
Good. How are you? Thanks for
Good.
having me.
Absolutely. So why don't you start and just share with us what exactly is hospice for our followers that aren't familiar with hospice?
Hospice is simply a Medicare benefit. So anyone that has Medicare is eligible for the benefit. And it is for people who have a terminal diagnosis. And what I mean by that is their physician has to say best educated guess that they don't expect them to live past 6 months if their illness follows its normal course without any type of intervention. So hospice is really when people are done with the back and forth to the hospital, they're done with the blood draws, they're done with the experimental treatments, and they just want to live their final days comfortable. And hospice is, we specialize in pain and symptom management, but I always say, like, we're there as much for the family as we are for the patient. We make sure the patient's comfortable and we treat, all the symptoms, but the family needs that emotional support a lot of times, and, spiritual support. And that support lasts long beyond when that patient passes. So I wish, if there's anything I could change, it was that people were referred to hospice sooner. A lot of times, sadly enough, we don't get the referral until the patient is what we call actively dying. So that support that we could have given the family, doesn't get to happen during those last few months.
Sure. So what is the biggest myth surrounding hospice?
I would say the biggest myth is probably that when you go on hospice, that means that you're going to pass or die sooner than you would if you didn't. I think, unfortunately, in today's day and age, there's still a stigma attached to the word. It's scary for some people. And, I've been a nurse for over 20 years. And medically speaking, the outcome is going to be the same. Hospice doesn't change that. Hospice changes how you're going to get there. And we let the family and the patient drive that. This is your story. This is your life. We're here to help you along the way. So, we don't come in and take charge and start telling everybody what to do. We're really just there to make the death of someone as comfortable and as special and what it is that family and patient want it to be. I always say that people put so much emphasis, on having a birth plan and having, planning all of this at the beginning of the life. Birth is such an amazing event, but, death is just as amazing and just as important. And a lot of times there's no thought that goes into that. And then when it happens, you're scrambling and you're scared. So we're just there to really help people plan, help them deal with emotions and grief. So I think the myth is that hospice is going to make it happen sooner. There's actually studies done that people placed on hospice live 27 days longer than people that weren't placed on hospice. And my only reason to believe that probably is because they're comfortable and they're happy. And I feel like that extends their life. That's my opinion.
Well stated, very well stated. So why don't you tell us what really sets Grane Hospice apart from other hospices in the Pittsburgh area?
I've been with Grane over 5 years, and being a nurse and being in this position, I really have to truly believe in what I'm out there talking about. And my clinical team that stands behind us I have no issues going out and saying that we're the best. We have the most caring people, whether it be chaplains, nurses, aides, social workers, on our team. I manage it's called the Pampered Patient Program. That is part of what I do, and it's unique to Grane. No other company has anything like it, and I think it's what part of what sets us apart. They're hospice CNAs, so they've worked previously in hospice for a long period of time as an aide. But this job, they're not there as an aide necessarily. They're there to pamper, to make them happy, to brighten their day. And before COVID, we used to go into facilities and do large activities and things. So we've had to get a little bit creative, since March. But, our patients, we do their nails, do their hair a certain way. We plan birthday parties for them, bring them their favorite food, play games with them, whatever makes them tick, because just because you're dying doesn't mean that you shouldn't live your life to the fullest each day. So it comforts families, especially if they're working and can't be there all the time, for them to know that, mom got her hair done and she's, so happy. And we hear all these stories of, she was just smiling, walking around the facility with her makeup done. And, it's just making that difference. And then the other thing is we have unlimited bereavement. We've always done that. So, Medicare states you should follow a family for about a year after the patient passes. Grane doesn't believe that grief has an end. So we leave the door open. We don't pester people, but if they feel 5 years from now, they're having a bad day and they need to talk to their bereavement counselor, call them up, we'll go have a cup of coffee and they sit down and work them through it. And that extends to friends of the family, that extends to staff members and facilities, especially now with what's going on. So we just try to be a support and a resource for our referral sources and for our families and for our patients, all with a very ethical, moral background.
Wonderful. So if anybody would like additional information, what is the best way for them to get in contact with you?
My email is acastor@granehospice.com. Our website is granehospice.com, and I'll even throw out my phone number, 412-339-4813. And I'm always happy to talk to anyone. We do informationals all the time with families, sometimes months and months before they're ready to actually make the decision, because it's not an easy decision. So, we'll do phone informationals, we'll meet you somewhere, we'll come to your home, because that's our job, to educate people about what it is that we do, and to make people feel comfortable and to fully understand what it is that they're signing their loved one up for.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for the time today. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with us?
I don't think so. Thank you so much for having me, though.
Yeah, wonderful. It's great seeing you, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Aimee.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.